Welcome to an exclusive preview into the athletic programs at Olathe's 4 high schools. You'll hear from coaches at North, South, East, and Northwest as they discuss their prospects for the upcoming season. And you'll meet some of their featured players. This is Coach Report. Olathe Northwest is coming off what may prove to be a pivotal 2011 campaign. Now the question is whether or not they can continue that upward progress and join the elite teams of the Sunflower League. Olathe Northwest won their district in 2011, making it to the playoffs. With a high-octane offense, the Ravens won the most games in school history, finishing at 5-5. We're here with Coach Todd Dane, who goes into his 9th season of varsity football at Olathe Northwest. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Before we get into the season this year, let's just touch on last year again a little bit. As we mentioned, you finished 5-5. You made it to the playoffs last year, and it wouldn't be complete without talking about some of the seniors you're losing from last year, who put up some really big numbers. You start with your quarterback, Dalton Rook, in 10 games. He actually threw for the most yards in the Sunflower League. One of his big targets, Willie Cauley, who received more passing yards than any other receiver in the league. And then, of course, Connor Middleton, who scored more touchdowns per game than any player in the Sunflower League.
Touchdown by number 1, Connor Middleton.
Tell us a little bit about those three players and what they meant to this program last year.
Oh, absolutely. It was a dynamic season. We were able to solidify a district championship last year, and really one of the toughest districts in the state of Kansas with the Olathe North and Free State and Lawrence High School. To win a district championship coming out of that district says a lot about our football program, says a lot about our seniors from last year, and those three individuals were a big part of our success, especially on offense. You know, hopefully we can try to put some things together this season that will try to emulate those things.
Now, looking into the future, are we going to look back and say that was a pivotal year?
Well, I surely hope so. And we've continued to build and grow. When this place first opened in 2003, there was nothing but fields as far as the eye could see out here. And as we speak, we've got houses coming up around us. And Olathe Northwest is finally becoming a community high school. And when we opened 10 years ago, it was a transplant high school where we had a lot of individuals that were coming in from different areas of the city, and it was great and it was exciting. But it's one of those things that the evolution of our school, we finally seen some of that growth in our population, and we finally seen some of that community spirit in our school, and that's exciting. That's exciting for Olathe Northwest football, but it's exciting for all of our sports programs.
Now, as we mentioned, you had a very dynamic offense last year. In your 5 wins, you averaged about 44 points per game, right, whereas in your 5 losses, it was more like 23, 24.
Sure, absolutely.
So you relied a lot on a high-powered offense.
Right.
What about this year? What do you expect to be hanging your hat on? Is it the offense, the defense combination?
Well, hopefully it's a combination of those things. We do return several players on both sides of the football. We are a platoon system, so we have 22 starters, 11 starters on offense, 11 starters on defense, and those players contribute several years in a row for us. Our offensive line is all back for us, and that's huge. We were able to rush for a lot of yards and throw for a lot of yards last year, and a lot of people forget that our offensive line was a big part of that. And our offensive line is intact, and they're all back, and so that's an exciting piece of our offense that's going to contribute. And then defensively, we bring back several members of our defensive front, a couple linebackers in our defensive line, 6 starters on offense, 6 starters on defense that are actually back for us this year and this season. So we have a solid nucleus that we're building around for this 2012 season.
Well, how do you pick up from a loss like that last year? You obviously have a strong line, but are we looking at a different personality of this team than last year?
Well, we'd like to keep the blueprint the same. I mean, we had a lot of success on both sides of the ball in certain ways, and so we want to continue doing what we do. We just have to find the best way to do it with the kids that are coming back, and find the right system around our quarterbacks and find the right system around our running backs. And we have some solid weapons coming in, but those are the guys that we're looking at to come in and maintain that blueprint of that success that we had a year ago.
looking at this season, what players should your fans be looking out for?
Well, we have several players. One of our returning linebackers is Jacob Philippi. He was one of our outstanding linebackers and was a playmaker for us on defense. Another linebacker for us was Alex Durr. He was a starter at inside linebacker for us and tremendous player, tremendous hitter. Had probably one of the biggest hits of the season on the goal line against Lawrence High School to solidify that win and actually end up winning our district championship. Brock Drescher is one of our big guys up front, and he's back as a big leader for us up front offensively. We also have Tyler Moffitt, who is our guard at the left guard position, and he's a strong physical kid, and he's back for us. And then finally, our senior captain is Cole Bowens, and Cole's one of the best offensive linemen in the Sunflower League, and Cole's a highly recruited young man, and several MIAA schools and a few 1AA schools are looking at him as an offensive line potential, and so we're excited about Cole and what he can bring to the table for us.
Great. Now let's take a look at the Raven profile player.
Hit! Down to 1, down to 2, down to 3, down to 4, down to 5.
My name is Cole Bowens. I'm the left tackle for the offensive line at Olathe Northwest. I am senior. My assignment when I am left tackle is during pass blocking, I block the quarterback's blind side. So if he gets tackled by my guy, he won't see it coming, and then it can be a pretty bad hit. And so I just got to make sure under no circumstance that my guy gets to the quarterback. We train getting low because my coach always says low man wins. I've heard that my whole life. Bend my knees, get low, and just drive him, use my strength, drive him as far as I can. We train on the sleds and the chutes over there.
Set, hit.
Your power comes from your legs and your hips. So when we're in the weight room, to try and get explosiveness, because you get in your stance and you come right out and it's all in the legs and hips. I wrestle too. I tore my labrum and my rotator cuff. I had to have surgery on that so I can be ready for the first game. Putting the ice on my shoulder is just precautionary, just so I'm ready to go the next day.
Set, hit! Down to 1, down to 2, down to 3, down to 4, down to 5.
The most motivating force when I go to hit a guy would probably be I want a pancake block really bad. So I just hit him as hard as I can to hopefully knock him on his back and take him off guard. Hopefully he's off balance. My first pancake block of the game, I'll know like I can take him all night.